The meeting of the Marquette City Commission is called to order on Tuesday, February 20th at 6 p.m. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, could I have roll call?
Commissioner Larson.
Here.
Commissioner Mayer.
Here.
Commissioner Ottaway.
Here.
Commissioner Schlegel.
Here.
Commissioner Smith. Mayor Pro Tem Hanley.
Here.
And Mayor Davis.
Here. Commissioners, could I have, Commissioner Ottaway.
I move to excuse Commissioner Smith due to personal reasons.
Thank you. And a second, Commissioner, or Pro Tem Hanley.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? No. Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Commissioners, we have an agenda in front of us, and I'm looking for a motion to approve. Commissioner Schlegel,
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
second. Commissioner Larson.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? No. Okay, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I have a couple of announcements tonight. The first is that our master plan is going to, the first draft will be revealed on tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in the Citizens Forum at Lakeview Arena, so the public is invited. It's a special meeting of the Planning Commission, so if you are interested in what's going on with our master plan, please show up. In the future, there will be time for the public to have comments on it. The other one is that there's early voting is going on right now, so if you aren't voting absentee or don't want to go to the polls on Tuesday, you can do early voting at the library. Okay, let's move on to boards and committees. We have a couple appointments. Commissioners? Pro Tem Hanley?
I move that we appoint Allison Taras to the Public Art Commission for a term ending 2/26/27, and that we reappoint John Stewart to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for a term ending 1/29/27.
Second. Commissioner Schlegel?
A second.
Discussion?
I would just like to thank them for stepping up and helping us out with these. It's always great to see people joining our boards and committees.
Commissioner Schlegel?
I'd second that.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Which brings us to public comments. So public comments may not exceed 3 minutes and per person. Please state your name and your physical address when making public comment.
Hello, my name is Gail Anthony. I live at 87 North Basin Drive in Negaunee Township. We moved to Marquette 39 years ago, raised our family in this lovely city, and retired out to the Dead River Basin in Negaunee. I've come here this evening because Maureen asked me to tell you about my experience in the aerobics program at the Berga Gym and why it's important for our community. It took me a while to get up the nerve to go back to aerobics, just like it took me a while to get up the nerve to come here. I loved taking aerobics classes when I was in my 20s, but as the years went by, unfortunately, exercise became less of a priority. I retired from the Community Foundation in 2020. I had the time, so I decided to give it a try. I was in my 60s, and I've been living with a rare, debilitating neurological condition that makes it nearly impossible to stand longer than a few minutes. I knew I'd have to take a chair to sit on, and I wondered what people would think of me. I had gained a significant amount of weight, my confidence was shaken, and I wasn't sure if I could even walk up the stairs at the Berga Gym, let alone exercise for a full hour. I was determined, though, to improve my health in spite of my disability, so I showed up at 9 a.m. on Monday morning with my black chair, my black folding chair, and a positive attitude. The instructor, Lynn Johnson, greeted me warmly and introduced me to Mo, who also welcomed me and noticed I was carrying a chair. She generously offered a place for me to keep it in the gym closet. Lynn introduced me to Diane Giddens, another instructor, and placed her right in front of me in the back row so I'd have a model to follow. I began to relax and thought to myself, this is going well. I sat most of the hour and moved as much as I could, just like they told me to do. It surprised me to see so many people there, like 30 or more men and women, but having lived and worked in Marquette for so long, there were a lot of familiar faces, most of them surprisingly older than me, and they could move a lot better. The class was fun, but admittedly I could not do many of the moves. It inspired me to see so many women and men do so well. I was relieved that everyone was so encouraging and friendly, so I went back on Wednesday. When I walked into the gym, my black chair, I still get choked up when I talk about this because it was out of the closet and waiting for me when I walked into the gym. And it has been there every single class since that day. It's been placed there for the past 4 years by the kind people in the back row of this class. It still overwhelms me to see such kindness. These days, I attend
Ms.
aerobics.
Anthony, I'm so sorry that I need to cut you off.
Oh.
We have a second public comment at the end of our meeting. If you care to finish your public comment then.
Okay.
So,
Anyone else for public comment? Please step to the podium and state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes. Oh, no, just,
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Brooke Tharp. I live at 1402 Woodland Avenue in Marquette, and I am here to advocate for more affordable housing in our community. I work as a street outreach case manager for folks experiencing homelessness in our community, and the greatest need that I see is more affordable housing in our community, and that would greatly benefit students in our community and our vulnerable neighbors, and really everyone in general needs housing. So I'm just here to advocate for that. And I think it would also be helpful to install some sort of incentives for landlords to offer affordable housing, as well as incentives to landlords to allow tenants to have criminal records. A lot of individuals have criminal records that prevent them from getting employment, from becoming tenants and things like that. And a lot of them have moved on from their past and are really prevented from moving forward because they're not able to get into housing. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Hi, I'm Ann Fisher. I live at 618 Brookstone Court. I'm here in my capacity as local coordinator for the AARP tax program. And I just have to tell you what a fantastic partner the Senior Center is. It's just the work we do, the work they do for us, including scheduling all the appointments, sending out all the intake forms. And this year, you may know, instead of being at the Senior Center, we are now at Lakeview Arena in the Citizens Assembly Room. And it is such a joy to see our clients with wheelchairs and walkers be able to just come in on their own instead of this crazy little half thing that's an elevator over in the Senior Center. So I'm just here to say a huge, huge thanks for the work of the Senior Center. And in fact, we were able, because we have that new big room, we were able to do all the training for Negaunee and Ishpeming as well. So we've really got all those senior centers working together. So you've got fabulous, fabulous, fabulous people, and thank you so much.
Thank you. One more fabulous. Anyone else for public comment?
Margaret Brum, 404 East Magnetic Street. I find myself unusually at a loss for words tonight, so I'm going to have to stumble through this. I'm requesting that the city of Marquette declare Wednesday, March 13th, COVID Remembrance Day in the city of Marquette. For the last few years, I have been gathering with a group of people at Matson Park sometime on March 13th to get together, to sing songs and remember different things that we've all been through. And as one of the commissioners pointed out, and quite rightly so, we've had other terrible diseases. I recently posted about my mother being a nurse during the polio epidemics, and we've had many good people deal with COVID from a healthcare perspective. My concern, and it's an odd concern, is that we are moving forward like COVID never happened. And yet, as a teacher at Northern, at least once a week, I get a student tell me they've been diagnosed positive. And being what it is now, usually they're back in class within a week. But we're now to the point, COVID started in Michigan on March 13th, 2020, which is when the schools were closed. It was a Friday. And that was the beginning of realization that it wasn't going to be normal for a while. And I don't want to be maudlin about this, and I don't want to be reminding people of sadness, but we've all known people who have lost their lives in this battle. We know people who are battling long-term symptoms. And like I said, my young people are still dealing with COVID on a weekly basis because it's still out there. And the purpose of the gathering is not to solve any problems. It's not to congratulate anyone. It is simply, I named it once upon a time, Ode to Joy, Remembrance of Sorrow, which is pretty much how I think of those awful days. And continuing to remember that there was a time when the schools were closed, the restaurants were closed, the world, paused to take breath. And fortunately, we have modern medicine, and like so many other things, we've moved past it. Only I find myself at an age where I don't want to forget. So I'm asking for a resolution. It doesn't have to be tonight. Obviously, there's one more city commission meeting between now and the 13th. I'm not asking for money. I'll be asking for people to join us, and just for remembrance purposes, because I find that remembering together is better than remembering by yourself. So that's my request, and I hope the city can find it path clear to honor it. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Anyone else? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. And we will move on to our presentation that we have for this evening, which is Maureen McFadden, our Senior Services Manager, and talking about our senior services. Yes.
Okay, so thank you everyone for people who have come tonight, and thank you commissioners for letting me present today. One of the reasons I requested to present today on our services is it has been 3 years since I've had the opportunity to do so. I see a lot of new faces, and I just thought this would be a good opportunity, as February is National Caregivers Month. So I think we've all known someone who needs a little bit of help in their lives to stay independent, or maybe we know a caregiver ourselves, and I think it's a good time to honor them and remember that it's typically a thankless job, and it's something that we really need in our community. So this picture, just saying, is a group of active older adults. Just because someone is aging does not mean that they have to age alone or age silently. They can age by having fun and getting out in the outdoors. So I wanted to talk a little bit about our aging services. So we are one of 4 agencies or senior centers in Marquette County, and we receive state and local funding and federal funding for our services. And typically it is under the Area Agency on Aging. It cut off a little bit. It's up on my screen. So let's see here. Oh, there you go. I just touched it a couple times. So typically it's under the Area Agency on Aging, which means that when you're looking for aging services across the country, this is typically the model they use. So you have typically 3 pillars. You have in-home services, you have community services, and you have caregivers, which really help make the world go round. Our senior center and senior services is more than just our pickleball programs in the gym or our outdoor recreation program. Although those are necessary, we have to combine these three pillars into serving our taxpayers in our community, and more importantly, keeping them independent. So again, in this presentation, you see the National Council on Aging, which is our governing body nationally. They have given us these lovely infographics on why aging in place is important for our communities. So there are financial reasons, there are personal reasons, and ultimately it leads into an individual's social determinants of health. You might think of in school or in college, you might have learned of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's where this model comes from. So without these things that you see listed before you, the healthcare access, education access, economic stability, and our culture that we have here in our local area, people cannot age well and they cannot stay independent. So this is what we as aging services providers try to model. So again, we are all about empowerment and independence, aging in place. This is what we want to happen. It's cheaper for our economy to do it this way, and it's better for everybody involved. So here we see some chronic conditions we see for people 65 and older. One thing that is not mentioned on there that I like to highlight is falls. So falls prevention is a huge part of this. We live in the UP, it gets icy, right? So we want to make sure that we can also have services and community health programming or different things that can keep people from falling and getting seriously injured. And then there's just some national statistics there, again, from the National Council of Aging and the United States on Aging. Again, people want to live in their communities. They want them to be accessible. They want to be able to age in place. Okay, so as some of our commissioners I know are aware, but for our public, we are a part of the Community Services Department. So that's Parks and Recreation, Senior Services, and Arts and Culture, all under that one umbrella. And that truly means our department is here to make our community's quality of life better. And so we embody that at the Senior Center by making sure people can live in an environment of their choosing for as long as possible. And that's our entrance, our main entrance to the building. As was mentioned earlier, we do also have an accessible lift that people can use if they need to, if they have a wheelchair or walker, because we do have a few stairs into our building. And then up above, you see the Barriga Gym, which is where we have a lot of our health and fitness programming all through the week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 4. This is our staff. So we are fortunate at the Senior Center. A lot of senior services across the state of Michigan do not have licensed social workers on staff. So with the decrease in state and local resources for social services, it is imperative for us to have on-site case managers that can meet with people, that can walk them through some very vulnerable situations and really difficult times. We're talking about people's livelihood here. And I can't overstate that. Until you need the service, you don't know how important it is. And we're talking about people that live on a fixed income of $700 a month that need us and need our advice to minimize their health insurance costs or help them pay bills or just connect them with in-home services to stay well in their home. Services and information. So even though obviously I am a city employee and our senior center is located here in the city of Marquette, we actually also receive funding from some of our outlying areas through our Marquette County Aging Services millage. So we serve Powell Township, which is Big Bay, Marquette Township, the city of Marquette, and Chocolate Township. We also, in addition to the county millage, receive the city millage, which is why our senior center is located here in the city of Marquette, because we do receive that additional funding. So our cost of services are zero cost to participants. Again, that's another model that a lot of areas downstate are not fortunate enough to have. A lot of senior centers downstate charge a membership fee, whereas we do not. That keeps it accessible for everybody, regardless of their income or resources. So we have the social work services, you do have to be 60 and over, but all of our other health and recreational programming, I mentioned pickleball earlier, things of that nature are 50 and over. So we have our services and information. I mentioned our social work services, which is, like I said, a confidential service, but there when people need it. We have our senior skate program that we do in partnership with Parks and Recreation. We have an extremely robust senior arts program to the point that we've had to start adding extra classes because they fill up every single time. And then we also host community education events. People can call us Monday through Friday, and we provide them with information assistance on resources in the community. And then things like our tax program, as one of our individuals mentioned earlier, that we provide. So we serve 11,000 unduplicated people annually on average. Again, just a little bit more about our senior arts. So that's all encompassing. We have dance, visual art, and theater. And we also partner up with Northern Michigan University for some of these projects, and then local professional art instructors for some of the other programs. And that is run in partnership with the Office of Arts and Culture. And then we have our Silver Sampler program. It's one of our more unique programs. We are one of two senior centers that I know of in the country that operate a evidence-based comprehensive outdoor recreation education program specifically for older adults. So it is designed and tailored for those barriers that older adults might face, whether they be financial, whether they be, I have an apartment, I can't store a kayak here. You know, what are the barriers to recreate in our local area? Again, we have our social work services, outreach, personal care, homemaking, which is the in-home service that provides light housekeeping, grocery shopping, things to our local citizens every other week in order to keep them independent. Again, this is a free service for these individuals, and all we ask is a suggested donation in return. So on that note, we highly keep track of our social work statistics because our funding requires us to. So what you will notice, it is broken into the 4 service areas or the 4 senior centers. And down in the bottom left-hand corner, I've highlighted our senior center specific. So as I mentioned, we serve more than just the city of Marquette, and that breaks it out per service area. So Marquette City, we have 4,752 people that we are responsible for. That is exactly 1,000 more people than we had in the 2010 census. If you average out our 2010 census data for who we serve and how quickly it is growing to this new 2020 census data, it is an average growth in each service area of 16%. And this is just people over the age of 65 that this captures. This doesn't capture the people over 60 that we also can be responsible for. So we are seeing an exponential growth in the need for our services. So what's next? Well, you saw the Silver Sampler program, you saw the Smiling Faces, you saw the Outdoor Recreation program. We submitted a proposal to speak at the National Conference on Aging back in December, and we were selected as one of 2 aging services providers to present at the National Conference in Arlington, Virginia, and hopefully represent the region well. So we will be talking about how our unique approach to our programming for older adults combats ageism and makes aging inclusive, fun, and healthy. So that is coming up in May in Arlington, Virginia. We also have been partnering with AARP right now to provide tax services for individuals at no charge, and regardless of their age, not just older adults. And that will show that this year we were able to increase that because of our new space, that we should have over 400 people that are going to be getting their taxes done this year. Then both of our major funding sources are up for renewal this year. So that means on the August 2024 ballot, there will be a renewal option for voters for the Senior Services City millage and also for the Senior Services County millage. They are two separate funding sources that I want the public to understand that we do rely on. So both of those funding sources provide funding to our senior center, and they were both on the August millage. And then we are growing. We just added a part-time social worker. This is the first time we've had a part-time social worker, but as you can see, the need was evident. And so we are excited to see how we can grow and maintain fiscal responsibility and provide the services that our community needs. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Commissioners, comments or questions for Maureen? Yes, Commissioner Ottaway.
Yeah, I'll be short and sweet. I just want to say thank you for what you do. I mean, the impact is right here in front of us, obviously. Just seeing these people's faces as they come in and share their stories, and just really you going through slide by slide, showing everything that you're doing to make an impact. It's overwhelming. It's pretty amazing. So props to you for that, and props to the rest of your team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Commissioner Schlegel.
Yeah, I gotta jump on that wagon with Jeremy. I'm so proud of you guys for doing this. It just makes me so happy to think that this is out there for our general public for certain areas, and then for our seniors, even over 50. That one kind of hurt me a little bit, but it sounds like I'm missing out on a lot of fun, and maybe I should. I'm a little bit worried because the pickleballers I hear get really feisty. So I've been in communication with a couple of them. But my point is that, you know, this opportunity for you to go out and present and show your wares to the rest of, you know, the people throughout the entire country is what an honor. And to think that it's right here in Little Marquette that two of these entities are being asked to go out and present in this manner. It's really, wear it on your sleeve. I mean, that's really exciting. Back in the day, when I think of caregiver, I think of a previous life of mine in pharmaceutics when I had to deal with a drug that was for Alzheimer's. And it's really what I learned about what it meant to be a caregiver in that capacity. But there are so many other avenues that need to be brought up. It is an absolute, just what a service. I just want to thank you guys for it, and thank you guys for participating in it and being here to toot the horn, because we don't do enough of that. We need to do a lot more of tooting our own horns because of the opportunities that Marquette offers to their seniors and to everybody else. So thank you.
Thank you.
Other commissioners? City Manager, you were waving to me. I'm wondering if you had something to add.
I just want to say that I kept Mo very busy since Friday and through the weekends with all the festivities going around town, that she didn't get a chance to update her presentation with some really great photos from Friday's special guest, which was Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. And he spent an hour over at the Senior Center touring, but then spent extra time talking with Mo and her staff and myself about things that are happening around the city that pertain to seniors and some of those challenges, but then also a lot of those good things. So I'm disappointed that the picture didn't get there, but I will be sharing that later.
I looked really short.
Congratulations, Mo.
Okay, I have a comment. Well, thank you. Congratulations on your acceptance to speak at the national conventions. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Gail and Ann, thank you for coming here and speaking highly of our senior center. It's not that often that we get emails about how wonderful services are, and City Manager and I got one today. And I don't know if you weren't copied on this, so I'm going to just read a little excerpt for you. Mo has made the center an excellent place to call, visit, or partake in the offerings. She has coordinated an extremely well-trained and personable staff, and so many questions and so many answers, and so many common, even uncommon questions and helpful services for seniors. The programs have evolved to illustrate her acute understanding of the wide variety of skills, ability, and needs of seniors, never succumbing to the stereotyping that is often present at such centers. That was just I will leave the author unknown, but I think that this person says things very well, as Gail and Ann did. So thank you very much, Mo.
Thank you. And I just want to, for the record, say a huge part of it is my staff that can't be seen tonight. So the 4 social workers, my assistant, a lot of the volunteers, and our 9 in-home caregivers that go from home to home in our local communities and keep people safe. So without them, none of these things could happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Okay, we will move along to the consent agenda, and this will be a roll call vote. Commissioners, do I have a motion for the consent agenda? Commissioner Ottaway.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And do I have a second? Commissioner Larson.
I'll second that.
Comments?
Nope.
Comments? Anyone else? Okay, that's easy. I'll call the question. All those in favor say yes.
Roll
Oh,
call.
roll call. I'm sorry. Thank you. I even said that, right?
This is why I reminded you.
City Clerk, would you do the roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Larson,
Yes.
Commissioner Mayer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ottaway,
Yes.
Commissioner Schlegel,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Hanley,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes, so the motion passes 6-0. We will move on to unfinished business, then that is the City Manager and City Attorney Evaluation Subcommittee. And City Clerk, may I have the background, please?
Thank you, Mayor. On August 14th, 2023, 3 commissioners were appointed to serve on a committee to review and compile the city manager's and city attorney's performance evaluations and to make a recommendation regarding future terms of employment and compensation. The 3 commissioners appointed at that time were Commissioners Hanley, Ottaway, and Smith. On September 25th, the commission approved the annual performance evaluations for both the city manager and city attorney. At that time, the subcommittee recommended and the commission approved each of their contracts be extended to September 30th, 2026 at the existing compensation level, with discussion related to revisiting compensation at a later date, as well as extending the severance length in the city manager's contract to 6 months if her contract is terminated without cause. The subcommittee expressed an interest in annually appointing an evaluation committee for the duration of the calendar year for more continuous dialogue with the city manager and city attorney. On January 29th, the commission authorized the mayor to appoint 3 commissioners to serve on the city manager and city attorney evaluation subcommittee for calendar year 2024, with an immediate charge to review the city manager's and city attorney's compensation and bring back a recommendation to the full city commission. The mayor appointed herself, along with Commissioners Hanley and Smith, to serve on the subcommittee for calendar year 2024. The subcommittee met on February 5th and recommends salary increases of 5% retroactive to October 1st, 2023 for both the city attorney and city manager. Fiscal effect: the recommended 5% increase for each the city manager and city attorney will bring their annual salaries to $133,875 and $123,165 respectively. This action will require a budget amendment. Recommendation: approve the subcommittee's recommendation to increase the city manager and city attorney's salaries by 5% retroactive to October 1st, 2023, direct the city attorney to amend both contracts, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the amended contracts. Alternatives as determined by the commission.
Commissioners, do I have a motion? Pro Tem Hanley.
I move that we approve the subcommittee's recommendation to increase the city manager's and city attorney's salaries by 5% retroactive to October 1st, 2023, direct the city attorney to amend both contracts, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the amended contracts.
And a second? Commissioner Mayor.
I'll second the motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Comments?
As part of the subcommittee, I learned a lot about what we were looking at for the salaries, and it seemed like a very appropriate increase. It was right in line with the other increases we've done for our different unions across the board, and I feel like it is to show how great a job that we do think that they're doing, and hopefully we can keep our city manager and city attorney for quite a while.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Mayor?
Only thing I would add, Your Honor, last year when I was the mayor, getting to interact a lot more with the city manager and city attorney, I can say with complete confidence that these two work extremely hard at all hours of the day, including emailing me at midnight sometimes. So it's much appreciated and well deserved.
Other commissioners? I will also echo that we're very fortunate to have these two individuals working for our city, and they have been doing some very heavy lifting this past year on some of the contracts and negotiations that we've had going on. So thank you so much. And with that, we will call the question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. And we're going to move on to our second public comments. Anyone who would like to do a public comment, please step up to the podium. Comments may not exceed 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and physical address when making public comments.
Margaret Brum, 2 public comments, one on behalf of myself and one on behalf of the Board of Light and Power. First of all, on the Board of Light and Power, our next meeting is Tuesday, February 27th at 4:30 p.m. at the Board of Light and Power offices, which are on Wright Street. And the best way I can describe it is you drive out Wright Street towards the highway. And when you see the solar panel array, you've gone too far, and you just kind of turn around and come back in. That's how you get the building. We have ordered new signage, by the way, but right now that's how you find the building. The meeting starts at 4:30 p.m. There's 2 opportunities for public comment. Lately, there's been some, I want to say, chatter on social media as well as in the news about certain issues, and I would encourage and welcome everyone to come to the meeting and share with the commission or share with the board. I mean, we welcome and everyone is invited. So that's the first thing, and I'm now concluding my discussion as a member of the Board of Light and Power and switching gears to speaking on behalf of myself. I want to remind everyone within the sound of my voice that Thursday, February 29th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Peter White Public Library in the Shiras Room, I'll be presenting a seminar on patents, trademarks, and copyrights. This is designed for the general public. In fact, I tried it out today on my business law students. I actually struggle with this because if I teach at the level I practice, it kind of goes over their heads. But if I don't mention it at all, they're in a business where they could run into someone else's patented product, and that could shut down their business. So today I tried something new. I gathered pretty common toys, and we talked about the history of the Lincoln log, and once upon a time it was patented, and now there's a registered trademark, and there's competition from other sources, but they can't say it's a Lincoln log, so they say it's a log building set. And then we did some other work and mostly practiced looking at common toys they've seen their entire lives and realizing that they all have intellectual property associated with them in trademarks and in copyrights and in other aspects. And then, of course, because it wouldn't be any fun, we had them build things with these different toys so well so they could learn the lessons. So I think that's going to be the theme. And I encourage everyone to attend. I promise you, you will learn some things that you can't get easily someplace else. And you will also have a better background and understanding of these issues, which somehow just keep coming up. No matter what the issues are, they just keep coming up. So that's Thursday, February 29th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Peter White Public Library. Thank you very much.
Anyone else for public comment? I have to finish. That's okay.
I have to tell you the rest of the story. So these days I attend aerobics as much as I can, usually 3 days a week, and I rarely sit anymore. I've dropped 40 pounds so far, and I'm able to move much more and enjoy activities I want to do without pain and exhaustion. I've put over 4,000 miles on my e-bike, and I also attend yoga classes 2 days a week. So this program has changed many lives. Our health is so precious to us. It's important and essential to many seniors like myself, and the impact of this opportunity is an immeasurable benefit to Marquette. I want to thank you for listening to my story and supporting these incredible aerobics classes and all the other senior center activities for our community. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, public comment is now closed, and we'll move on to comments from the commission. And we begin with you, Commissioner Mayer.
I don't think I have any comment for tonight.
Okay. Commissioner Ottaway?
Yeah, thank you for your touching story. I think that was awesome. I think Commissioner Schlegel said that hearing positive impacts that our community is making, things we don't really get the opportunity to hear, and I'm sure Mo really appreciates it as well. I think it's an awesome thing, and I think we'd be better as a society if we shared those things a lot more often. So thank you for that, and keep up the good work. Outside of that, March 10th, Restaurant Week begins. I think it is of the most, well, it's more important this year than it has been due to the lack of snow. Kind of as I touched the last meeting, a lot of businesses are struggling right now because their lack of winter traffic from tourism and things like that. It's been a little bit of a problem with our normal snowfall. So please, if you live in the city of Marquette, if you don't live in the city of Marquette, take part in Restaurant Week. It's a really good opportunity to go out and spend some money to local businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Pro Tem Hanley.
Thank you. I also wanted to thank you, Gail, for coming in. We all know how wonderful our senior services are here, but it's really nice to hear it from someone who has used the program and has had such a positive impact in their life. So I really want to thank you for coming out and sharing your story. Other than that, I'm good. Thank you.
Commissioner Schlegel?
Look at that group that makes up your community services department there. Arts and culture, Parks and Recreation, and our senior center. And what those three specific areas, what that means to our community, what it injects from, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the alleyway for the next feature next to the wine place there for arts and culture. But, every year it's something that just continues to thrive in the city of Marquette, and our parks, we're blessed with so much park space. It's just such a great group of services, and what it truly means to the city of Marquette. So thank you for all that all of you do, and all of our groups. But really tonight, let's focus and again continue to toot your horn. I'd like to thank Brooke for coming in and talking about the need for affordable housing. It is something obviously that is on everybody's radar. Every community needs to have this as out in the forefront right now, and they need to start working together because certain communities have more space perhaps or more resources maybe than others, and I would assume you might be working with Mr. Redmond and his group, but I've worked directly with him, and thank you for doing what you're doing for those people, because it is ginormous. It is life-changing for many people, and it is a thankless job, and you are one of many angels that are helping people that are in dire need. So continue to work as hard as you do, and thank you for that. I'm looking forward to hearing Mo report back. I hope you come back to the commission when you're done with your Arlington visit and come back and see what's going on. So since we're past our 17-minute mark, I'm going to be long-winded tonight, and I don't care. So thank you very much. And
Commissioner Larson.
Yeah, sure thing. And thanks again. Thank you, just like everybody else, and the work that you do over there. And certainly very surprising and maybe not surprising to hear how good the work that you do and how many people take part. So just understanding the number of people that use the services is a powerful testament to the work that you provide and the services that are provided to the community here. So thank you again for that. And I probably should have said during the consent agenda, one of the things buried within there was another proclamation for Spread Goodness Day that's coming up here the second Friday of March, I believe March 8th. I know my kids look forward to it, and it's been really great, within our community, within the schools, just that idea that, if each of us do one good thing, that multiplies throughout and, really makes our community a wonderful place to live. So that was buried within there. I just thought I should have a little extra call out. Thank you.
I did mention the city's master plan at being discussed tomorrow night at the Planning Commission special meeting at Lakeview Arena. But the other thing that was stuck inside our consent agenda is the recreation master plan that is our next planning opportunity, and that's a 5-year plan that the community will also have an opportunity to have input in. So watch for that, and please participate in our recreation plan activities as they come through. And that's all I have, and I'm passing on to our city manager.
Thank you. I just wanted to touch on Brooke's comments because it seemed awfully relevant, and I was going to just direct you to the Housing Commission. However, Brooke actually sits on our Housing Commission, so it's great to see the connection there. I do want to just mention that the housing discussion is one that is taking place beyond just Marquette city limits. It is going more of a regional approach, which is how those resources are really being allocated, but then also looked at. So it is great to start seeing those efforts being kind of joined together and collaborating on. So we certainly always take back this feedback and always note it and make sure that we are hearing those things and passing those along. So I think there will be some more information shared. There was a recent breakfast and chow and talk recently done with the LSCP that presented a lot of housing data, and there was quite a few people in attendance there with some startling trends. And then one thing is really looking at that change in demographics as well with the aging population, which is also going to present a different need than what we have maybe even right now. So looking forward to having more to share on that sometime soon. Also, with the community master plan, although this is the first unveiling of that draft master plan tomorrow to the Planning Commission, there will be another step that the City Commission would be getting that out there for discussion and for input. And there is a required public notice, but there's also going to be more of that discussion and some of that engagement with the community. So if you can't make it tomorrow, don't feel like you missed out too much, because there will be something coming back to the community very soon. So thank you.
And with that, I'll conclude our meeting.